Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, Bitcoin, the altcoin market, everything as we get ready for the stock market to open right now. Of course, we'll peek over there at financial news, any type of crypto news that is going on as the day gets kicked off. We have had some interesting things going on out there in the world. We have a lot going on. We have absolute chaos over there in the United States stock market. We have the SBF trial going on. I guess that's starting to get kicked off. I'm not following it too closely because it's not, for me, that's just crypto drama. But otherwise, no real big news, except maybe that the SEC got denied their interlocutory appeal against Ripple, solidifying that the SEC still can't even appeal XRP security status until 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2023. They can't even do anything until 2026. So that has just been locked in as of yesterday. That's phenomenal news over there for XRP holders, which I am myself. That is the largest bag of crypto that I do own by a long shot. So I'm happy to hear that has happened over there. We'll cover that, of course. We'll take a peek over at the stock market as the craziness kicks off over there. But to celebrate the magnificent victory and continuation of XRP being not a security, because of course it's not, and it's the only one with legal clarity. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. If it's your first time tuning in on a Wednesday, we tend to have a good time on Wednesdays. Even if the market is horrific, we will do it anyway. We always have a good time here on Wednesdays. But of course, we even have something to celebrate there with the SEC taking another big fat loss over there in the courts, as the judge has denied them what they were looking for over there in the lawsuit with Ripple and XRP. So rock and roll, keep it going. Good stuff happening over there. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market currently right now. Bitcoin sitting at 27,558. We've been following this thing for years at this point, the whole drawdown and how all of that played out in here. Guess where we are on time? We are within, just a couple of days of if this thing wants to continue to be on track as it has been. We're there. We'll see if it does end up doing it or if macro takes the sail away from all of it. But otherwise, it's still right on track of how it's been behaving for years on end that we have finally reached it. We did spend a tremendous amount of time in that range as well. We'll go back and look at this bad boy right in here, right? As we were leading up to the block reward halving back in 2015 and 16. We spent a long time working in here. We finally left this range, worked this range in here for almost 200 days. That is very similar to what we have done currently right now. Spent about the same amount of time in the first range, shifted up to the next one, been in here for about 200 days. We're now reaching the time period of whether or not this time frame, which is silly because it left the range at the same point. It began this breakdown at the same point and peaked over here at the same point. Ranging, breaking, everything. There we go. We're there. We're going to see if this thing's going to continue to follow and really into hopefully this week and maybe next week if that thing does. We'll see. We'll see how times play out. But we're there, guys. Fingers crossed happening right there. All right, before we jump in, let's do this because I keep forgetting to do this stuff at the beginning of each show. Of course, you can follow me over here on x.com or Twitter at BCBacker. This is the only social media I use. If you're DMing somebody over there on Instagram, guess what? You're talking to a scammer. That's not me. This is my only social media. Look for the blue check mark and at BCBacker. Of course, you guys can check out my website over here, bcbacker.com, with over 40 videos and 11 hours of content on here, deep diving into the crypto market, teaching you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators and TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. Talking all about like Wyckoff accumulation, Elliott wave theory, and historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market to understand that correlation between Bitcoin and those altcoins and how the price history has played out throughout the past in cyclical behavior. 40 videos, 11 hours of content for your viewing pleasure right here on bcbacker.com. Let's go ahead and dive in continuing. So you do have crypto kind of mixed over here today. You got the altcoin market down about 0.5%. You got Bitcoin up about 0.5%. Looking over at the stock market, this is the big thing to keep the eyes on to see what is happening in here. We've been talking about this as we've taken out that lower low at 33,600. The question is, are we in like a deleveraging event happening over here in the stock market right now? We'll get to the dollar here in just a second, but fortunately the dollar is pulling back. We talked about that yesterday, being at a 50% retracement level. We'll dive into that. But today, this morning, so far, you kind of got half up, half down. You got the Tesla and Amazon and Microsoft leading the way. Losers today, Caterpillar, Ford, and Meta. Looking over at the indexes, you got the Dow up 19 points, the S&P up 10 points, and the NASDAQ up 87. So the NASDAQ is the leader this morning, up 0.6%, with the S&P up 0.25% and the Dow up 0.08%. Metals, a little bit of a mixed bag over here. You got gold up slightly. You got silver down slightly. Silver down slightly. Practically flat happening over here on metals. We'll probably come back to this in just a second. XRP, of course, after the news being released yesterday, range still continues on. No dramatic price action happening for XRP based on that news. Another victory in the camp for XRP, but really nothing changed. We all knew it was still not a security. Nothing really changes. And unfortunately, no huge price changes happening from that particular news. Again, one of those events, it's likely going to take liquidity from the entire cryptocurrency market to get this thing and get this show on the road. All right, moving back over to macro DXY. This is what we talked about yesterday. We were back at the 50% retracement level. We watched that. You had some jobs data come out right in here. They gave you that wick. We kind of watched that happen live. Still, it was not able to get through that 50% all day, and this morning has been starting to pull back. No breakdowns. Obviously, no breakdowns happening yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You have a small daily bearish divergence happening there in oversold territory, but we'll see. Fibs have historically not been the best thing here on the DXY, except for this one time period that we talked about here yesterday, where we did get back up to 50%, and that was the big rollover that happened right in there. So we're right there at 50%. We'll see if this thing can go ahead and take itself a chill pill right now. Let's get that modified. There we go. There we go. Right? Nope. Hold on. I must have accidentally grabbed the whole thing. There we go. Boom. Revert right back down. Okay, we'll see if that ends up being the stopping point for the United States Dollar Currency Index, which has just been absolutely ripping and roaring. Again, it's above that 106. That brings in all that concern over there on the Dow Jones Industrial Average and on the United States stock market on if the pop is already in play here for the U.S. stock market. Things that I'll be watching for that I would not want to see. To think that we are seeing the deleveraging occur. Of course, again, if you take out the next low, right? We talked about this yesterday. If this was, you could argue, which I'm not, but you could argue, hey, this is just one big flow trade that happens right here. It pauses in the middle of the flow. Now it's pulling back, and this is really your big pivot. I'm not too confident on feeling that way. But you take out that low, it just feels like you're going to start seeing the deleveraging start to happen here in the United States stock market. We've talked about this stuff many, many times here. We know how high we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even the C19 throwback, the violent back test, that's all part of a standard bubble to get its way up in here. Now structurally, even looking just like what happens before the deleveraging takes place. Now, if you notice in here, what you do end up seeing is a bounce come out of here, and you get like one last opportunity for, what I'm saying, one last opportunity, and then we'll see what happens. So I likely will be opening some puts in this market if that does get offered up in here. I'll take that. I would much rather open some puts, have those puts get blown out and go to zero, and this thing goes to a 4.236 extension, than me just not have them at all. I'm gonna take a shot at it on that, likely on big tech. But so far, stock market looking okay to start the day out. Definitely don't want to see another low get taken. But you see what I see. You derive whatever information you want from that. When it comes to a bubble, we're dang close. And unfortunately, when a lower low gets taken out, that's where all the cautions start to come into play, which we have done over here. So don't take that one out, or else yikes, yikes, yikes. We could see some deleveraging start to happen here in the market. And I'm curious if we actually already have. Unfortunately, not like in crypto. Like we'll know the next day. We'll know that hour what type of margin calls happened in crypto. We'll hear about bodies floating to the surface relatively quick. We don't know about any of that kind of stuff in the stock market to know if that's happening, and we likely won't for months on end. Until we start seeing mass layoffs or something like that end up happening, which could be months down the road before something like that does occur. But either way, keep an eye on this. You definitely want to see a bounce coming out of the Dow Jones. I posted about this on Twitter yesterday. If the Dow doesn't want to it needs to get itself a bounce very quickly. The stock market does in order to prevent what looks to be terrible. So eventually, even if we get a 4.236 extension, these are still my thoughts. This is still the direction the stock market is going in. I get it. A lot of people are critical and say, oh, Great Depression, and that's okay. Those people, unfortunately, and I've seen TXMC post about it, right? The last 35 years have been the absolute best in the stock market. The last 15 years, literally, if you are under the age of 34 years old, you know nothing about it. You only know up only if you're under 34. You have no reference points to go back to because during the great financial crisis, I'm using this as a reference. Like if you are 34, then you probably would have been like, if you went to college, right? And you're like 22 years old and you graduate from college right here in 2014, you came in a good time into the market, right? You came into the job market when things were in full recovery. So anybody who was an adult, so anybody over the age of 34 did live through this, as an adult to understand what a recession did feel like. And so there's certainly bias for anybody under the age of 34 that up only, up only, up only. And that's just because that's how it's been every single time. So yeah, just, caution because these things are starting to show themselves in here. Again, for crypto, we know where we are with Bitcoin. If we are to continue following along, if the little block reward having theorists want to have their victory party, they need to be holding the current levels that they're currently at right now. And if it's going to continue playing along to that same tune and playing that same game, guess what? We're here. It's time to go do better than the stock market. It's time to prove it all wrong, right? It's not tied to the stock market. For your block reward havoc. We're there. If you're not feeling the heat of that stock market right now, I don't know what to tell you. But all right, DXY does pull back this morning. We see that happening over there. XRP still meandering along. I mean, it's got a little pop. It's above 53 cents right now, but nothing crazy coming out of there. The price action after the additional victory over there as the SEC gets denied their interlocutory appeal. I still can't say that word, but XRP is sitting steady, still doing all right. So, all right, there you go. Bitcoin, here we go. Are we about to get our retrace to come in here finally for Bitcoin? Keeping an eye on the stock market, certain concerns happening over there, certainly concerns happening over there. However, Bitcoin's still acting right on pace. The DXY has found some resistance, it appears, here at the 50% retracement, still unknown. We don't have any evidence that it has stopped just yet. So I'm not going to say it has. Obviously it's going to be one of those things that it happens later and say, see, I told you. It's like, no, you didn't. You said up or down. whatever. I told you. That's that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm not going to guess on it. I'm going to be an observer. We're above 106. That's the nervous thing happening, and then you have the behavior of the stock market happening over there. That's concerning too. You need some bouncing stock market. You need it bad, really bad. But fortunately, like I even posted on Twitter yesterday, crypto is just holding up phenomenally during all of this. It is shocking to see the chaos being observed over there in the stock market. And the reason why I say deleveraging, like could deleveraging be taking place in the stock market rather than it being just a typical correction happening in here where price is falling, but there's actually margin calls and that there's bodies floating to the surface, is because of the things we talk about with gold, right? We say that there can be two things, right? Gold can go into a bull run while the Dow Jones falls, or gold can go down while the Dow Jones can go up, or they can both go down together. But what they do not do is go into bull runs together. This is the one circumstance that doesn't happen. And whenever we have these are just market conditions and rotations that are happening between these two. But whenever you have this element happening and when they're both going down together, it's typically portfolios getting liquidated and getting margin called and selling aggressively and bailing. And so that's why we're talking about, is there margin calls happening in the stock market? Because you have the aggressive action of gold at the exact same time as you do over there with the stock market and the Dow. This aggressive behavior happening in here. Are we watching margin calls and portfolios getting liquidated and called during all of this? So we'll keep an eye on it, of course, every day like we always do, but definitely caution exists out there that we know that we've broken below 33,600 for the Dow, and of course just a big fat structure that exists up here for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But all right, Bitcoin, you're holding up. Let's go. Let's have the best October ever, please. There you go. Again, this is just from yesterday. Of course, you got everybody talking about 2019 through 2020. They're just structurally not the same thing. Much more on track, even with time, price, behavior, everything to 2015 and 2016. I've got one more on here. Where are you? Are you here? There you go. This is the thing to watch for, right? If we do break down, this will be different from any recovery. It will not be the same. And so this is not going to be your 2019 and 2020 if this thing breaks down. There are concerns that if you have something like this happening where a breakdown does emerge here for Bitcoin at the exact same time you have this happening for the Dow, you really think you're going to get it? I don't think so. I think if you want to have that 4-year cycle theory and that 4-year block reward ideology for Bitcoin, you better be fingers crossed that October is going to be a rock star month. So, all right, light, tight, and bright. Let's loosen it up. Let's have a call. Let's see. Alpha Beta Soup says, in a margin call, investors will sell liquid assets, gold, Bitcoin, to protect themselves, for which they cannot or will not make a market. Yeah. I'm wondering, and that's the curious part too, right? So you see like a margin, it almost looks like a margin call happening between the stock market and gold, but we're not seeing that in crypto, right? That's the astonishing part of all of it. That's the crazy part of all of it. So, okay. There you go for Bitcoin. We'll see if we hold. We see if we can get our shuffle up to finally get that retrace to come in for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. Looking over here, yep, we've already done that. Stock market, yep, I'm assuming people will have questions about this, which we can talk about again later. XRP, no huge crazy movements, but at 53 cents after the victory again, as the SEC gets denied their interlocutory appeal. And the judge crushes them. Let me read a couple of tweets really quick because I retweeted a lot of stuff and I thought it was important. We'll have some comments on there really quick. John Teton had said, when the SEC filed the request to file an interlocutory appeal, I said it would be another mistake by the SEC. I said the judge would bolster her previous summary judgment ruling, making it bulletproof on a full appeal because she would make it more fact specific, which is what she did. John Deaton had said yesterday, and let me add, my very quick perusal of her order is untouchable. And yes, evidence submitted by XRP holders make another appearance in this decision in her findings of facts that she relied on. As I've mentioned, As I've maintained all along, her decision is based on the facts of this case. She stated that she's never said no digital asset could ever be a security sold on an exchange, just that XRP in this case wasn't one, and that even though some XRP acquirers purchased XRP for speculation, the SEC didn't prove it was tied to the efforts of Ripple. Remember, the SEC was relying on an expert who got excluded on the very issue and who helped accomplish that. And who did help accomplish that? XRP holders did. Jeremy Hogan said, I like how the judge here clarifies her holding, at the same time reminding the SEC that speculating in a commodity alone does not meet the test, but that you also must rely on the efforts of others, which the SEC failed to prove. Eleanor Tourette says, I asked John Deaton what his initial reaction to the Judge Torres ruling was, and he told me she made it clear that her decision was about XRP in this case. In sum, she made it even clear that, excluding Bitcoin, XRP is the only digital asset with legal clarity. Jeremy Hogan also stated the SEC's motion for interlocutory appeal is denied, which means the case either goes to trial in April or goes away. And this order allowed the judge to explain parts of her ruling even better, making appeal that much harder for the SEC to win. It's a disaster for the agency. There you go, guys. That requires a frog.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday. Dudes.
Let's go. Okay. There we go. So, I mean, there you have it. Killing it. So, all right, we'll see if we can get some more movement out of XRP today. We'll see how the Dow Jones holds itself up in here. Any type of bounces will be treated with ultimate concern for the Dow now, as it has been setting these lower lows. To just keep your eyes on it, right, guys? I mean, let me take this off so you can just kind of see really clearly where you're at. Call your mom. Call your grandma. Let them know. Okay. Yep. So we haven't even dove into the news yet. We, of course, have covered all the XRP stuff, but we have not covered other financial media as well. Think, is there anything else to keep an eye on today? You have a mixed stock market. You have mixed indexes. Looks like the Dow is slipping into the red again. I mean, the Dow was down 430 points yesterday. The NASDAQ closed down 270. At one point, the NASDAQ was down over 300. So we have warning signs to be concerned about in the United States stock market. Somehow, some way, crypto is still holding itself together. And maybe that's what we see. Maybe there's some type of rally bounce that comes out of the stock market, and that's where we get some splurge happening over here in crypto. But it's definitely a wild time. This is an unusual time that we've had in crypto before. We're having to navigate it the best that we can, but fortunately, these things aren't coming blindsided to us. They're coming to us of things that we've thought about, but how the market's going to react, that's what we're all going to have to kind of watch together and anticipate together. Hopefully this is just a big fat washing machine. It goes to a 4.236, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. That structurally, you can clearly see that structure. If you can't clearly see that structure that's happening in there, I don't know what to tell you. Just keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on it. Look. Hopefully there's still at least a bounce that comes out of here, and then watching out what happens right there into a bounce if we do end up getting one. And this will be a moment Bitcoin has never lived through. If that's what comes next for the United States stock market, it will have never gone through a moment like that before. So, okay. Not here to scare the pants off of you, but I am here to report what is going on. All right. Bitcoin still sitting there, 27.4. Hopefully this is our future for October. Boom. Stock market wobbly all over the place. Mixed day over here in stocks. XRP, the big champ, coming off the victory against the SEC once again. US dollar currency index pulling back from that 50% retracement. We've already talked about gold, talked about are we seeing a deleveraging event happening in the markets that we just don't know about. Again, the bodies will not float to the surface for any type of deleveraging until much later, until you find out who goes under. Kind of like what we saw with BlockFi, you saw with Celsius. You didn't know about them until later, right? We'll see if that's the case. One of the big things with oil, I brought this up to TXMC yesterday. I'll show this to you guys too. We've talked about oil before. You know, we got the top of oil, right? We knew that was the top of oil. We've seen a big pullback up here in oil. And I just wanted to kind of rehash this particular price level we've seen oil get at, because you have everybody screaming that we're going to $200 again for oil. This was the breakdown when there was also some conflict over there in Russia and Ukraine back in 2014. We watched all that, and then we watched the conflict literally happen again at the same price point. It was just the craziest thing ever, as if it was timed. They get the big breakout when the invasion actually ends up happening, but it was not a sustainable breakout. It again loses that breakout, pulls all the way back down to supports. Now back testing that exact same level again. Now it's getting rejected again. You got everybody screaming we're going to $1 bajillion for oil. I'm gonna bet we're not. I'm gonna bet we're not. I'm gonna bet that this was actually one, two, three, four, five. Now we're gonna set it up for another. We're going down. So, all right, that's my bet on oil. It'll take many years for that to come to fruition, but let me put it all back, and that way when we bring it up another time, we'll say, hey, how's this thing going? We'll see. Again, commodities are ridiculously hard, but oil has been kind of predictable with this one particular price level, and it does appear to be getting a pretty strong rejection happening out of there. So, okay. Looking over at dominances, back to crypto again, still behaving right in line on expectations. Nothing has changed. Just following along with the little squigglies as we thought it would. Let's move on over to the news. Now, what's interesting about the news is that within crypto news, at least, they got Sam Bankman-Fried here right on the front page. Sam Bankman-Fried. You come over here. Sam Bankman-Fried. If you try to find the SEC and Ripple case here on CoinDesk, right? It's not even here on the front page. You can't find it. It's not here. On CoinDesk, it's not even there. SPF, the trial of the century, right? This is it. Good luck finding anything on the Ripple and the SEC case, with the SEC getting denied. That is not here on CoinDesk at all, right? And that's Lubin's thing, right? You go over here to Cointelegraph. Where is it? Here in the editor's choice. It's nowhere in here. You come over here to Hot Stories, VanEck, Ethereum, ETF, CBOE listing, Bitcoin, DRAM launches on Uniswap. Binance collaborates with Royal Thai Police to seize 227. Oh, there it is. The last one, hidden way down here. Judge rejects SEC's motion to file an appeal against Ripple ruling. So somebody doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. District Court Judge Annalisa Torres has rejected the United States Securities and Exchange Commission motion to appeal its loss against Ripple Labs, the company responsible for issuing the XRP token. In an October 3rd order, Judge Torres denied the SEC's motion, claiming the regulator failed to meet its burden to show that there were controlling questions of law or that there were substantial grounds for differences of opinion on the matter. The SEC's motion for certification of interlocutory appeal is denied, and the SEC's request for a stay is denied as moot. So there you go. There's all the stuff. They do have trial set for April 16th, I believe, next year, and they must meet prior to that for an hour to discuss settlement. Now, there's somebody named Sherry over there on Twitter. I respect her opinions significantly. She says, get ready for, what is it, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. She didn't say this, but I'm saying it. Get ready for 6 months of clickbait YouTube videos. Is a settlement around the corner? Unlikely to be any settlement until literally like April 15th, if there's going to be one, day before trial, right? They're gonna fight back and forth to get the best they have, use the most leverage possible. Do not fall for the trap of a settlement happening. But get ready, you're going to have thumbnails nonstop for the next 6 months of it. Settlements around the corner. You know how it goes. All right. So otherwise, we're being told all about Sam Bankman-Fried. Clearly, that's drama, right? That's what gets clicks, drama. But who cares? I don't care what happens to Sam Bankman-Fried. Like, I just don't care. Like, I get it. Like, if the guy does 10 years, if the guy does 30 years, if he does whatever, it just doesn't matter to me. I don't watch like the Johnny Depp trials. I don't watch that stuff. It doesn't matter to me. All right, moving on to macro markets. Private payrolls rose $89,000 in September, far below expectations. More than 75,000 workers to strike at hundreds of Kaiser Permanente health facilities across the U.S. Treasury yields retreat from 16-year highs after weaker than expected ADP jobs report. Moving on over to Bloomberg. McCarthy exits. Oh, yeah, this is probably some big stuff. McCarthy exit means more turmoil before new U.S. shutdown fight. The Speaker of the House has been voted out. Yeah, forgot about that one. So, yeah, there you go. There you have it. I don't know. I didn't follow this. I got a text message about it yesterday. So I don't follow politics like literally at all. I don't know what the drama is behind this guy. I don't know why he's gotten moved out. But from what I do understand, like a positive crypto guy is like the temp dude as the Speaker of the House right now. If I can remember his name. Let me see. Crypto friendly Speaker of House. Patrick McHenry. Yeah, crypto-friendly Patrick McHenry takes interim House Speaker position. So that's cool, right? And he totally hates Gary Gensler, so that's cool. I don't know the drama on this, guys. If you're upset about this or excited about this, sorry, I don't have an opinion on it one way or another. I don't follow it. So we'll see what comes of that. Was this pre-planned? Was this all part of their little political game that they were doing? Maybe. Don't know. Or was he up to something naughty? All right. There you go. That's what your news is today. When you see stuff like this, like I always think, what are they distracting us from? And the reason I say that is when I made a video about this in January or February of 2020. So this is before C-19 happens. This is when we're starting to see some like Iran missiles get fired. And I'm like, something's coming. They're trying to distract us, but I don't think this is it. And then the next month is when C-19 happened. Because when we go back and you live like in September of 2019, we watched emergency stuff start to happen in markets. You watched the Fed start to bail out banks in the overnight lending market. Nobody was lending anybody any money anymore. There was problems happening. And the Fed stepped in and started QE and started bailouts right there in September of 2019. But they were denying it. They were saying that they weren't doing it. And it was the most bizarre thing. If you were here during that time, which most people were not, it was crazy. The internet, finance Twitter was going crazy over this thing. And then it was just a couple of days later, suddenly the world gets distracted by Greta Thunberg. Just a couple of days later. That's what's all over Twitter. It has stolen the show, Greta Thunberg. And then a couple of days later, the articles of impeachment were filed against Donald Trump. And so that, of course, just totally took over, right? So when you get stuff like this happening, and then you get stuff like Sam Bankman-Fried is taking the lead show of news. Like we are very much focused on things that are not really pertaining to markets. We're headline Sam Bankman-Fried, headline Sam Bankman-Fried, headline, right? So we're just hit with that, and then we're getting hit with political stuff at the exact same time. But are there actual real problems happening over here in the stock market while we're actually getting distracted by a lot of this stuff? I don't know, but I did witness that happen in September of 2019. And then you watch just the continuous distractions continued to happen until finally C19 ended up showing up. So I'm not going to pay attention to what's happening with the house. So we're not going to be covering that here on the channel. And Sam Bankman-Fried, maybe I'll make a joke about it every once in a while, but we're definitely not going to be reading articles about Sam Bankman-Fried unless it's like ridiculously awesome. Otherwise, yesterday was like jury selection. Like, who cares? Who cares? Okay. That's what we got today in regards to news. And then, of course, with Bitcoin, all eyes to see if we can continue holding our support levels after the big XRP victory took place there. Ripple victory as the SEC got their motion denied for interlocutory appeal. And now they can't potentially even do an appeal until 2026. So 2023 right now, guys. 3 years from now until they can even potentially file an appeal. So, all right. I think that's it for today, guys. Keep an eye on that stock market. Do we have liquidations happening? Es posible. Es posible. All right, we're hopping into the chat. How long have I been rambling? 35 minutes. Very good. Oscar Hernandez with the super sticker right out the gates, my brother. Thank you very much, Oscar, man. You're always number one, except for yesterday. But you're always number one, man. And I always appreciate the support, dude. Big Shroom says, did I beat Oscar? Let's go. You did not, Big Shroom. He got you just barely by a matter of seconds because I can see you guys are on the same minute. Thank you very much, Big Shroom. Ryan Rendon, my brother, 38 months, 38. I bought tinfoil and I made my hat and spaceship. I'm now ready for Aliens podcast with TXMC. Let's go. Also, the number one way to support BCB is to hit the like button. Time to frog up, brother. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for the support. 38 months, man. And do you hear that, Alpha Beta Soup? Yeah, I see that heart he posted in the thing. We got to start our podcast. Patrick Poole says, hey, BCB, do you want to sponsor my pool team? All right, Oscar comes in. Thank you very much, Oscar. He says, reminder for listeners and viewers to hit the like button. Also, check out your website and your merch. Yeah, I keep forgetting to show the merch. I'll show it because I don't think I've shown the merch in a month. There you go. Look, does your baby like Wednesday? Hey. Nice little baby outfit. Want to drink glorious coffee every morning in a 702 mug? It can be yours right here. It's Wednesday, BCB. Get it for your lady for a women's comfort tea. Hey, do you still like Wednesday? I mean, this is perfect because today is Wednesday, right? Nice little tumbler there for your cold or hot beverages, along with a bingo and a spaceship, little coffee mug, BCB stickers, sweaters for your ladies, workout shirts for your ladies. Hey, your lady would love an XRP tote bag. I'm certain of it. And so would your baby. Your baby would love stuff. Hey, drink a cold beverage from a nice glass XRP mug. What else we got? Look at all this stuff. Look at all this. Sweaters, t-shirts, blockchain backer coffee mugs. I got these too. I've got these here at the house. I got a lot of this stuff here at the house. Here, post a link in the chat. Get at it. There you go. And then, like he said, of course, check out the website, bcpacker.com. All right. There we go. Just shilled my stuff. Okay. Thank you, Oscar. Block proof support. 4 months. My man, member, 4 months. Thank you. It says, the court's July 13th ruling was and remains the law of the land. XRP is not a security, by Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer of Ripple. Let's go. Yes, I forgot to read that one too. That is phenomenal. The law of the land is set in stone. For 3 years at least. And then again, if they settle, right? If they do settle in April, then it's just like a thing that's not even thought about anymore. XRP will be the only one. Thank you, Blockproof. Big Shroom says, my friends are DCA and chilling into the stock market. I don't know what to tell them. Yeah. We'll see what it ends up being, right? Like if this, because here's the thing, right? If this is true, which I think it is, this is the pivotal change of the world. And that's hard to acknowledge. Like, are we watching it? And we might be. Mind you, I'm not a doom person, man. I'm not the type of person where a correction happens and I'm saying it's the end of the world. If you've watched this channel for years, or if you've watched, any period, have you ever seen me do that? Oh, this crash definitely means doom. We're done in any circumstance on anything. It's like, oh no, it's like, okay, this is optimistic. Like, hey, you know what? We're gonna get a bounce out of here. We'll get back to retracement levels, stuff like that, right? This has been a scenario for a long time. And for those who were here in 2020, we went through C19 together, making YouTube videos through all of that. And the world thought we're done. They thought we're done. That was it. There's no coming back. 25% unemployment. That's the beginning of the Great Depression from right there. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. That's the double tap, bull flag, breakout, back test, violent BV bottom. Violent. But now we're at a point where things could get nasty. So just kind of keep your eyes on it. And in a deleveraging event that can happen so fast, it will shock. And unfortunately, I have some family members who just won't do anything. It's unfortunate. They're not going to do anything to protect themselves. Like I've mentioned, again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm never going to tell you when to buy or when to sell. That's your call. You're the one in charge of hitting the buy button, hitting the sell button. And your situation is different from every single other person's situation. Yours is different from mine. It's different from the other person in the chat room. You know your situation the best. And you know what can help you sleep at night and what helps you not sleep at night. But I talk to my family, and some of them are totally ready for things to get nasty. Some of them are in that same camp that you just mentioned, DCAing, holding 401ks, everything's all glory. And the reality is that strategy has worked, right? The DCAing and the holding and everything like that, just for forever, especially for the last 15 years, it's been fine. It's worked just fine. And there's a chance that we're at a pivotal change. And but anyway, for me personally, I think of my entire net worth, it's about 2% of it is in the stock market. If that, 2%. With my children's college education funds. They have a couple of different college education funds, and all of them are at least 2/3 in money market accounts, with only 1/3 of it exposed to the equity market. The only reason I have not put it at 100% money market fund rather than equity market is in case I'm wrong. Like you guys always know, I was talking about 65% is like my thing, right? So 2/3, 66%, 65% in money market. If I'm wrong, I wouldn't want my kids to be angry at me in 10 years. Dad, inflation went soaring and you did nothing but get, 4 or 5% per year. And be like, well, I left 1/3 in there, But if that 1/3 does disappear, then I did better than the vast majority of people and protect my children's college education funds. So even my kids, right? I've got them sitting in cash. So that's kind of my position here. And then with crypto, right? Things are looking okay. But if we broke here, you guys know all my stuff. You've seen all my stuff. That if that break ends up happening, then I start having very serious concerns about the long term for Bitcoin, at least, right? I don't think I'd touch my XRP on the way down in here. That may be a bad decision, but I'd definitely let go of a lot of stuff that I grabbed down here during FTX and get sidelined on that for some time. Essentially doubled my cryptocurrency bag down here until now. So I take some changes and just sit back and wait for a minute as the world gets sketchy as can be. But okay. You can't tell him anything, Big Shroom. Event, you can't do anything that. All you can tell him is like, hey, look, this is the stuff that's going on, and they'll choose what to. So I've got with a family member of mine. They're like, well, my financial advisor is telling me I trust my financial advisor, and I say, you know what, that's a fair argument. Go for it. What am I supposed to say? I'm not a financial advisor, right? All right, go for it. All right. Mind you, I have the same financial advisor. And I tell my financial advisor, I'm like, move that stuff to money market. Mr. Nobody. GM, good morning, BCB. If the Dow is already topped and completed a WXY, do you think a subsequent wave 2 up would be enough to get a retrace alt season in crypto? I sure hope so, right? So that's just, that would be if this emerges in here, right? What would happen with like altcoins and everything like that in a moment like that into a retracement? We'll just have to see. This is a new environment, you guys. Like, you get that, right? You got a lot of people have been sold a bag of lies. That's the reality. You've been in this, and I've shown it to you time and time again. The bull runs in Bitcoin have happened in breakouts of all-time highs for the Dow. I've shown it to you time and time again. We're walking into potentially a different environment in here. Maybe this thing is just going to washing machine the heck out of it. It'll make me look like an idiot. I'll take it. Washing machine. Then hits that 4.236 and then finally rolls over. But I can only go based on what I see. And you could see what I see. I don't have to sit here and sell you on the idea of what I see. If you can't see it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I see it. And I hope you do too. But we'll see how crypto does into a retracement, right? And that's kind of been the idea all along, is that you're not going to get anything more than a retracement out of Bitcoin. As of right now, that my thoughts on that can still be proven wrong. My thoughts on it can be proven wrong as long as it maintains how it should be maintaining in recoveries, because technically speaking, it's exactly how it should be in recoveries. And it's insane to me how much content is created out there by these people who are for your block reward having theorists, and this isn't their base case, that they think we can go down here and this is okay because they look at 2019 and see that this should not. We're moving on. I love you all. A lot of you in person told me, "Hey, don't let it bother you, brother." All right. I'm gonna do better. All right, we'll see, Mr. Nobody. I hope so. Avery Karkish, first timer, man. Thank you very much. You didn't get a message come through. You tried again. I appreciate it, man. BCB, I've been following since 2020. Markets in the morning is becoming my favorite morning routine. If you get a chance, could you take a look at Gala? I'm curious if it's finished. It's crashing. Thank you. It's probably just. Let's see. It's not listed on Coinbase. Well, it took out, you keep a close eye on it currently right now to see if it can get a breakout. Where it is currently right now, you look at the low that was set back there during the FTX collapse, December of 2022. Wait, we've talked about this before. We've talked about this coin before, huh? I don't know. So I think we said this doesn't look any different from anything else in the market. You don't have anything unique happening on this coin that gives any sign of strength. And as of right now, of course, I don't know the inflation of Gala. I don't know anything about it. Right now, it's really kind of backtesting really the FTX kind of low of 2022 level right now. So I'd probably be looking for at least reclaim this level with conviction to have any type of optimism on it. Right, this is a 89 cent to 1 cent coin. Again, we've seen stuff do that before. We saw Cardano do that in 2018. And that was wild. And my DCA on Cardano was like 4 cents, 3 cents. But that even with that DCA, I had to, at one point Cardano was 1.7 cents. I was down like 60%, right? But then it went to $3. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know anything about Gala, and I don't see anything changing any different than the rest of the market. And I don't know if there's a massive inflation problem there. So you'll need to research that stuff. Thank you, Avery. Philip gifts a BCB membership. Philip, man, appreciate it, brother. Ari Madugno. Hello, BCB. What do you think about equity distribution rotating into crypto, which also has much upside? I mean, it's possible, but essentially you're moving further down the risk curve, right? If we're in a liquidation event, it's going to be interesting if we are watching the stock market liquidating. I just hope that's not the case, right? And we have to watch this every day. We're going to talk about this. We're going to look at this and follow this thing like a T, because that's typically what comes next is a liquidation, a margin call on the whole world. So, but crypto is somehow holding up well. And then maybe just because we've already gone through all of that, right? The stock market is like right here, right? They're like right here. We've already gone through it all. They're like right here. So we'll see. Thank you, Ari. Romley, Amir, thank you very much. First timer, no message, but I'm sure you'll show up again. Dr. Ty, 7 months, 2 more months until the baby arrives. Much love, BCB and the fam. Dr. Ty, my man. Get it, brother. Let's see, 2 more months. A little bit after Valentine's Day. Not a Valentine's Day baby, though. Romley, Amir. Backer, can you talk about RRPONTSYD? Can we not use that like an acronym of that magnitude? Okay, are we talking about reverse repos? Okay, so we're using reverse. Okay, we're using the ticker. Okay, let's just say reverse repos, brother. Yeah, so here you go. There's your reverse repos. It's still continuing to drain. That's the crazy thing. We saw the first draining. We saw the market rip and roar on that drain. Then the market stopped and fell. And then we've seen it continue to drain. Market's not responding the same way, right? Are we in some type of margin call? That's the thing. But yeah, we can overlay it too. Let's do... I don't know. The reverse, it's down. I mean, that's all we got. I even had it over here, didn't I? Yeah, it's right there. I didn't even need to bring that in. I had these ready to go. Right now, 81% chance that we do not see a rate hike again at the next meeting. 81.3. And reverse repos still, the drainage continues. The money flows out. Where's it going? It's going to those long duration treasuries, right? But still, even scooping all that up, not enough money to flow there into the stock market. So... there you go. Scott P. BCB, frog merch, please. Well, this is the best I could do when it comes to frog merch, right? Like, we have to kind of make our own thing. I can't, like, go steal that frog from the video because that's copyrighted, right? Like, we can use the XRP logo because that's a free domain. But there you go. There's some frog style. There you go. George Alexanderopoulos, does your family not watch your channel? How do they not see what's coming? Happy Wednesday, my dudes. Some people just don't care, right? So, I mean, I think that's for everybody, right? Not everybody is like really in tune with financial markets. They have other things that are interest. It's just a passive form of investing for retirement for a lot of people, right? It's not something they care about every single day. I think that's pretty normal. But yeah. I wish they would. Some of my family does watch. And they know. They know. Custom skateboard decks. Yeah, Dow Jones threatening another daily low. Thank you, George, for 3 months. You got night shift over there for 2 months. Thank you, brother. This community rocks. I've been a sub since February of 2020, and for some reason, the group of people want everyone included, which is very nice people here. Yes. I mean, the number of gifted memberships that happen in here is insane. Rodrigo Pimenti, boss backer, I have my HODL XRP bag and I want to 35x XRP with $200. Isolated liquidation at 40. Oh, you went 35x. Okay, geez. I'm shooting for 47% entry. Is it a good level for it? Any entry point tip? Cash out above. You're trying to do 35x leverage, and you're asking me for an entry price. Sorry, bro. I'm not gonna help you with that. Good luck, dude. I don't know. Sorry, bro. All right, Matt Eanes. Hey, can you show the XRP versus the market? Also remember EBS at 2 p.m. 2:20 p.m. Thanks again. XRP versus the market. Which market? Crypto market or stock market? Doom time for stock market. How are we doing in crypto? Are we holding up okay during this? 27.3. How's XRP? 53.2. No, really unchanged. Stock market doom. Nah, but I mean, we are like, let's pretend this. This is kind of the things I kind of keep an eye on, right? If we assume, right, if we just speculate that is the top, right? This is the beginning of it. You could be looking for a bounce right in here, right? Which would be something like this, right? Which is a 618 retracement back into this zone, right? Kind of like so, right? Before the real margin call happened. But we would want that in the next couple of days for sure. Can you show the XRP versus the market? I appreciate the support, Matt. I'm not sure which one what I'm supposed to show when it comes about versus the market. I don't know, brother. I mean, I can just overlay it. It's correlated. I mean, that's pretty much it. Sure. Is it possible for the chart to get all the way to the last phase of Wyckoff accumulation and then get rejected at that spring and continue breaking down? Sure. Jaxer gifts 1 BCB membership. Thank you, brother. So here we are. We're at an hour now. So we got the Dow. Let's see how the dollar's doing. The dollar's back to 106.94. So there you go. You're still underneath here, but you got the Dow still struggling like a struggle bus. XRP, how you doing? You're doing fine. 53.2. Coming off of yesterday, right? Yesterday we were at 51 and we were in the 50s. We're up about 2.5 cents since yesterday. DXY still fighting that 50%. Bitcoin waiting to see, do we rally here? And is this going to be a rally bounce with the stock market? We could sure hope so. Otherwise, commodities looks like oil is getting a pretty decent rejection here off the level that we've been discussing. Metals, you got gold, NASDAQ is still up. Oh, somebody asked earlier, and maybe it was in the chat. I didn't see it come through. I think it was in the chat. If the Dow falls, will the NASDAQ and the S&P fall? Well, they all went up together. I would assume they'll all come down together. The question is that moment right now? But yeah, I would assume they'll all come down together. But right, we're still here. We're still here. Things haven't gotten out of control yet. But you guys see the things that I see. So we need to see some love come out of the stock market very soon, in order to start wishing this away, right? You see it, you know it. So, fortunately, I do have some family members who are being active about it. BCB, where's gold at? Here, let's see, we have gold right there. There you go, there's gold. So we had a discussion about gold, and that's what makes you wonder if this is liquidations happening, right? If this is margin calls happening in the market. That you have one that, and we've talked about this many times, you'll have one that can go into a bull market and one that will go into a bear market, or one go into a bear market and one go into a bull market. But you will not see bull market and bull market. But we can see fall. And typically in fall, it's happening during liquidation events and margin calls, where all assets are having to be sold off aggressively together. And so we're seeing that happening for gold while we're seeing that happening for the Dow Jones and the stock market. And it makes you curious. Is this the first phase of a margin call happening on the global scale? So there you go. But all right, I'm going to try to get working on a video today. Watch out for that stock market. Of course, my eyes are here peeled constantly. Looking to see if we can at least get one bounce to emerge in here to have something to talk about for a pullback, and then an area to say, watch out. Otherwise, and hopefully we have not already started a full-blown margin call on a global scale yet. So, all right, there you go. Trying to go through the chat, see if there's anything I missed. All right. The spring lunch says, BCB, what are your thoughts on BAT, or basic attention token? Nothing too different. Then the rest of the market. I don't see anything with basic attention token that's going to change the world, right? That's one of those coins that was here in 2018, 17, 2018 through the whole bear. It went back to its all-time high, right? But is anybody using Brave browser and going after the BAT token? I don't see people talking about it. B says, I'm going to make you some blockchain background. I'm going to make you some frog graphic vectors so you can have for merch. An industrial designer, and my wife is a graphic designer and a market lead. We'll get you set up for free. My dude, let's go. That'd be amazing. Thank you. So, all right, guys, keep your eyes on the stock market. Pray for a bounce to come out of that thing. Crypto is still holding up. Bitcoin is still holding up. And hopefully we have a glorious October to remember, as we have still continued to follow along precisely on schedule with timing. We have finally reached it. I think it's tomorrow. I'm not predicting this to be tomorrow, guys. I'm not saying that it's going to be tomorrow. I'm saying with timing and how it's been reacting, it's tomorrow. Right? Or it would be like overnight tonight. A little shifter up or risky overnight tonight into tomorrow. Is that Friday, October 6th? I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Are we going to go day by day? Maybe. We'll see. Either way, next week, if not by next week, that's where you'd kind of start saying, oh, we've passed. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're now at 1 hour and 2 minutes. Tomorrow, PCP said Lambo tomorrow. Hey, what do you think the chances are that you get there and then the SEC loses, guys? Crazy, right? 200 and something days in that range. SEC gets denied the day before. I'll take it. Oh, we got to do a frog on the way out. What are we doing? We doing screwed up and chopped, or we're raving? Otherwise, guys, before you tune in and bail out of here, I appreciate you all for tuning in, of course. You can check out bcbacker.com for more videos from me. Over 40 videos. Take up your whole day, take up your whole week, your whole weekend with the silky smooth voice of BCB. Yeah, and just fill your heart with love. Of course, check me out over there on Twitter. Check out the merch. Links are all in the description in here. Otherwise, we're gonna froggy our way out of here. We're doing both. Okay, whatever. Everybody wants both. We'll start with screwed up and chopped to get our Wednesday going, and then we will see our way out the door in epic fashion of fast speed. Here we go.
It is Wednesday. Wednesday, my It is Wednesday, dudes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Lastly, we can't, like, that makes me, like, sleepy. I can't be sleepy.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday. Dudes.
All right. Wake up, get that coffee, get some spice going. Oscar Hernandez gifted 5 BCB memberships. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being here. Crazy time out there in the markets, but we're going to make it through one day at a time like we do with everything in life. Keep your eyes over there on the stock market for the end of Doomtown, Doomtown. And have a wonderful day, and I'll check in with you guys again tomorrow. Thank you guys. If you could like the video, of course, that's the #1 way to support the channel. Let's go ahead and hit that outro. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.